What's up, y'all? We are back again with another video. This video is gonna be about things that I learned within my 20s, and how I think it could benefit others in their 20s, to kind of set themselves up for their 30s and 40s. So first and foremost, man, we gotta talk about the company you keep. The company you keep is more important than anything, man. They'll be the reason why you stay out of trouble. They'll be the reason why you're in trouble. They'll be the reason why you are on a uphill climb to success or a downhill dive to the worst of the worst. And so, as I've gotten older, man, there's a lot of people that I communicated with in high school, middle school, that I do not communicate with now. There's a lot of people that I've met in college, and just on my entrepreneurship journey, that align with my goals and ambitions a lot more than people from before. And it's a sad realization as you start to grow and realize that a lot of people just cannot get on your ship, man, and being able to be okay with knowing, like, you're not necessarily a bad person, or you're not necessarily a fake friend for doing that, but just almost putting people in a place to where they can't necessarily hurt you because they're destined to hurt themselves. And so I'm gonna start this by sharing a story of a friend of mine that unfortunately I had to cut ties with. And this is after giving this individual, chance and chance and chance again. But as you become, older, and as time progresses, you kind of realize that we don't have time for nonsense. I'm 25 years old, so I'm kind of in that middle part, of between my 20s to my 30s. And so, I've learned a lot within these past, 5 years. And I definitely think by me sharing my experience, you guys can learn as well. So I had a friend of mine that was helping with, a lot of the jobs that I had for, my moving company. And this individual is someone that has two kids. He's 22 years old, and he's just one of those people that just can't get right. We all have that friend. Unfortunately, I have a couple that just can't get right. There's nothing that you can say to them, that you can do for them, that you can try to lift them up with words of encouragement, that really seems to get through. And so the last straw with this individual was we had 3 moves scheduled on one day, and this is something that he has done on numerous occasions, man, like numerous occasions. And I'm someone that wakes up at 5 a.m., goes to sleep at midnight. Sometimes I'll go to sleep at 1 a.m. and got to get back up at 5 a.m. And so my tolerance for people that have more excuses than they have action is very slim to begin with. And so this individual on numerous occasions has overslept, past the time that he had to wake up to be at work, right? Now, as I mentioned, this is someone that has kids, this is someone that has bills, and this is also someone that complains about not being able to pay their bills. And so there's also a part of me that, as I've gotten older, I'm starting to realize that a lot of people have a lot more control over their misfortunes than they, try to lead you to believe. And so, as I said, the last straw was we had a job. We had 3 jobs on this day. I wasn't working with him. I had another crew member that was going to pick him up. A crew member sat outside of his house for like 30 minutes. I'm blowing up his phone. Crew member's blowing up his phone. No response. I receive a phone call from him later that afternoon around 1 p.m. Pretty much saying, "Hey man, I overslept. I just, I went to sleep late. And he didn't go to sleep late because he was at work. He went to sleep late because it was it's a Saturday night." And so I kind of have to come to the realization that everyone does not want it as bad as you. And some people would rather create excuses for why they don't have or why they can't do than wake up on time and go to fucking work. And so the first thing that I want to touch on is making sure the people that are in your circle have the same goals and ambitions that you do, or there's going to be a lot of tension there. There's going to be a lot of friction. There's going to be a lot of envy, because some people might just not like the fact that you can get up out of bed every fucking morning and do the same exact thing, and just have the drive to do so. People will envy you just because you're ambitious. People will envy you just because you have goals of being greater. And so especially in your 20s, it's important to surround yourself with people that already have those goals, so there's not that feeling of drag or feel as if you're leaving people behind, or you're not being a real friend, because some people just don't want it as bad as you, and you have to be okay with that, right? You have to be okay with that. The second thing that I'm going to touch on is females, man. I've seen females destroy a handful of my friends, whether it's them chasing females, and so they're not paying as much attention to what their purpose is, whether that's them jumping from female to female. So now you're constantly, spending so much time trying to meet a new person just for an opportunity to get into bed with them, and you're not spending that time learning and growing and making as much money as you possibly can. So I've seen females be a huge factor in the downfall of a lot of my friends, and I'm not blaming the female for that. It's more of a lack of accountability and attention on the things that matter. I know a couple guys that go to work all week and spend their last dime trying to get fresh on a Saturday night just to try to pull a girl in. And so that's something that definitely in your 20s, man, you have to be able to have enough self-control to where you're not tricking yourself out of position by being a trick. You're not spending all your time just trying to get female attention, and spending all your time trying to get laid, spending all your time trying to impress females. Man, that's the last thing that you would want to do on a journey like this. You're trying to get to places where most people don't go. And so if you're chasing after women and you're spending a lot of your time and money just trying to get laid, that can definitely delay you from getting to where you're trying to go. Now, me personally, I've been with the same girl for 10 years, man, and I'm not going to make that sound as if that was easy at all. But one thing about me, I'm committed to my relationships. I'm committed to my goals. I'm committed to my fitness. And commitment goes a long way, man. Commitment isn't just necessarily to work and having drive, man. That's also with the people that you have in your life. And so being with one female definitely has, in my opinion, allowed me to focus on the things that really matter. As soon as I found someone that understood me, and I understood them, that was more than enough for me, man. I've never been a guy that's just constantly chasing after the next, big thing, because the grass is not greener on the other side. I'm not gonna say sometimes, I'm not gonna say the grass is never greener on the other side. You always think that you can go get bigger, better, and just that alone is a quick way to delay yourself from getting to where you need to go. And so females, man, keep that to a bare minimum, man, especially when you're in your early 20s. There's no need for you to be working just to trick your money off on females. That's the worst thing you can do. So now we're gonna go on to like how you spend your money, man. Like when I was younger, and I mean this was just a few years ago, man, I would always have buddies inviting me to come downtown, and get a section and buy a bottle. And, that's another thing that, is not really, it doesn't add to what it is that you're trying to do. A lot of people, want to have all the fun and forget that, you got to miss out on fun to stack funds, and so constantly partying, being in the crowd of, drinking and getting drunk and like that is one of the things that I would definitely recommend you to stay far away from in your 20s, because it's easy to, fuck your life up when you're constantly around people that just want to have fun all the time. You got friends that are drinking and, drinking and driving. Sometimes, things can just happen in a way that you could never imagine. And so in order for you to kind of limit the likelihood of something negative happening, just try to stay away from it as much as you can. In your 20s, in my opinion, you should be working as much as possible. You should be saving as much as possible. You should be learning as much as possible. So there's not that much time for you to be able to just be sitting in someone's, club section on a fucking sofa, buying overpriced bottles. That just doesn't fit into what the bigger picture is, right? And so for me, man, like having all my days be repetitive in my 20s was the best thing that I could have ever done. I went to work, I came home, I communicated with the same people, I loved on the same girl. There is greatness in consistency, and consistency. What I mean by that is like doing the same thing every day. Like getting in that routine to where you get up, you go to work, you go to the gym, you come home, you go to sleep, and you start all over again. The more that you can limit the external factors and all the, oh, I got to meet Jimmy at this time because we're going to go partying, or I have to meet this person here because we're going to, the less external factors that you can, that you have, especially in your 20s, in my opinion, is the quickest way that you can save, the quickest way that you can learn, and the quickest way that you can grow. So let me know what you guys think. Comment, like, subscribe to this video. Man, thumbs ups are free, subscriptions are free, and it helps me out. So y'all go ahead and comment, like, and share.